have passed, and I keep asking myself why I have this. I feel like I opened Pandora's box. Most of the entries I can read make me feel like I should have been there for Grant more. He seemed so fine on the outside, but it's clear he had some issues going on. This journal entry was dated 2 months before his death. 2/17/25. Bad thoughts. Some shifts while I was cleaning dishes. I would think of songs that would go perfectly in a movie that I had been creating in my mind for the last 10 months while daydreaming. I also thought about what I was going to get from the vending machine on lunch break every shift. Rarely would I think of darker thoughts. Last shift, a thought that entered my mind was how shitty this job is. Sure, it paid well, and it provided just enough to get by, but it was a dead end. There's nowhere to learn or grow, definitely no place to get a promotion. I never went to college and had to get my GED because I messed up so badly in high school. Was I trapped here? Was this a trap of my own making? That was enough, my mind deemed. I came back to reality to see that the sink was overflowing. Grant was older than me. By how much I don't know. I never bothered to ask. I regret it now. Maybe he could have gotten his thoughts out to another person, even if it was something small. Grant was full-time in this place, 5 days a week, 8-hour shifts each of those days. Before his death, he worked 6 days a week, 10-hour shifts. The job paid surprisingly well, so there was no reason for him to work so much. Maxwell fought to increase our pay. And so much paid vacation time, you'd think he'd never want us around to work. Every few days, Grant would update his journal with more stories about, as he puts it, daydreaming. They were depressive death spirals of thoughts he had while working. Some were shorter, only describing his thoughts in a few sentences, while others were longer, with whole paragraphs. He described it here in this entry. Usually, I would put in some earbuds and listen to music, podcasts, or audiobook. After a while of working, you usually get into a groove where my body takes over the mundane task of cleaning plates so that my mind is free to wander. I hate it when I read that. It was just a sign of more awful things to come. All of these journal entries were highlighted. Here are as many as I could get down that were clear enough to read. 2/24/25. Squishy water ballons, bodies and minds, were one of the few things we had control over in our lives. Well, not really. My mind wasn't entirely my own. At any time, some disease like schizophrenia or dementia could come and ravage it as it pleased. My body could give me cancer one day if it makes a mistake. My hair was going to fall out one day, and my body would decay, just like the residents here. I hated that. I don't want to know I'm rotting. Maybe at the ripe age of 50. I would. It feels wrong to type this last part now that he's gone. Would he even want his deepest thoughts out in the world to see? Why else would he highlight them? I am choosing to skip to the end of the entry. My train of thought was interrupted by two things: my earbud bud running out of battery with a loud doo-doo-doop, and a sharp pain in my palm. Damn it, I was letting my mind wander again. The pain was from a knife cut. I must have grabbed it by the blade. Blood was dripping out from underneath, and from the hole of the cut on my latex glove into the sink. Maybe my mind was already betraying me. I was there that shift. God, and to think I didn't do anything. I thought it was an accident, not self-harm. Maybe if I had reached out to him, he would still be here the 3rd of March 25. Leftovers idea. Why do the residents waste so much food? Tonight, almost every plate still had 3/4 of the food on it. I had to scrape it all into the trash can. I could have taken it downtown to the homeless shelter and given it away. I mean, the chefs just toss out all of the bread every night. It's such a waste. Maybe I can talk with Maxwell or the floor manager. Maybe we could start a program to feed people. Grant did talk with Maxwell about it, and I overheard. No, we can't do it. Think of the logistics, all the holes we have to jump through, paperwork. Just everything, was what I first heard. Okay, I understand, but I can take my car. We don't have to tell anyone about it. I can take it in some of my containers to the homeless shelter. This conversation must have been going on for a while. No, we can't let anything in here leave. What if a resident is sick? We don't want germs spreading to another facility. What about the food we don't use? The leftovers we toss? Grant was pleading. It was silent for a long time. Fine, I can help out. We can sneak out some leftover bread every night. Don't tell anyone. Thank you, Max. Grant started walking away, and I had to act like I was doing something else. March 16th, 25. Kitty poster. Jacqueline put up a hand-drawn hang-in-there poster above the sink. She really is an artist. Maybe we can get her to do a bigger one for the place. It warms this cold, desolate room. It's been keeping me focused. Thanks, Jacqueline. I put it up because it was so barren inside the dish pit. Sand-colored popcorn windowless walls surrounded whoever was stuck at the sink. You could forget how colorless and claustrophobic it was if you had earbuds in, but I think the poster brought a little life to the place. I'm glad I made it a little better for you, Grant, even if it was for a few weeks. 3/20 to 25th. Meditation. I sometimes put my hand under the sink to let the water run over. I try to focus on just the water running, nothing else. It's the closest thing I've tried to meditation. The warm water slowly loses its feeling after a while and becomes temperatureless. It brings me a nice comfort. The 1st of April 25. Matthew. The rest of this shift was miserable. All I was thinking about was D. I didn't want to zone out and drift away, so I tried to focus on rinsing plates. Grab plate 1, rinse, and grab the next one. I guess in reality, these thoughts brought me back to my brother. Grab plate 2, rinse, and grab the next one. We both had a bad childhood, but he took care of me through most of it, which he never had to do. Grab plate 3, rinse, and grab the next one. I mean, if he didn't, not much of value would be lost. When he drank himself to death, much more was lost than what remains. Grab plate 5, rinse, and grab the next one. The only reason I'm still living my life is because of him. After losing him so long ago, maybe it was time to join him, but I'm scared of what's on the other side. Even if I missed him that bad, I couldn't join him because I'm a pussy. Grab plate 9, rinse, and grab the next one. I would do anything to hide this pain, to focus on anything else instead of being alone, trapped in my mind. Grab plate 18, rinse, and grab the next one. That's right, I was still in my mind. My attempts to stay focused failed miserably, very in character. I want to keep apologizing, but I don't even know what it will do. I didn't do anything, is what I keep telling myself. But that's the problem. I could have done something that is bad as it sounds. The reason why there were 2 deaths became clear to me. Grant was severely unwell and was just getting worse. Maybe he did something irrational. I hated myself for even thinking that. Sure, there were a lot of unexplained elements in my head, but at least if I took it to the police, I knew what had happened now. It made sense to me until I realized that the last entry was the last normal one. There had been a rip in a few pages following it. I was expecting to find more of the same moving forward, but I started to accept that this might have been a murder until I read this. 5/7, 25. Can't sleep. I couldn't stop thinking about it. It felt like it had made a nest in my mind and was resting there, waiting for me to give it more thought. I thought maybe writing about it would get it out of my head. Maybe it only made it worse. I haven't gone back to work for a while, but it didn't matter. The thing in the sink followed me. What? The train of thought I had was just derailed completely. What on earth could Grant have been writing about? I wanted to read more, but the paper was torn. I checked my bag and found 2 paper scraps, but they didn't fit there. The first one read, "If you're re-scribbled down fast and hard on top of a drawing." It wasn't in pen or pencil or Sharpie like the rest of the book. It was in blood. The drawing underneath had to be somewhere else in the book. The other scrap wasn't paper, but an old crumpled up Polaroid. The photo was of a person, seemingly chugging a can of something in an old carless garage. The light in the photo was a blinding white, a combination of the camera flash and the fluorescent bulbs. It made it so that detecting features of the face was impossible. You couldn't tell hair color, facial features, anything. The only defining feature was the Grateful Dead shirt at the bottom of the frame. I didn't pay much attention to the photo and attempted to search my bag again for more paper, but there was nothing, so I attempted to find the page with the missing scribble. I flipped back to see if the piece of paper matched with any previous page, but found one I had previously overlooked. It was another entry. It was related to an injury Grant had on his last shift. I saw him alive. 4/19/25. What I saw, as I am flung back into reality. The smell of something meaty hits my nose. I look down at my hand to see an amalgam of flesh and latex rubber. My right hand had been under the steaming water the entire time. I was washing the plates with only my left hand. The latex of the glove melted off, letting the water onto my bare skin. I don't remember feeling anything at any point, certainly not now. My hand had third-degree burns, and whatever latex that remained had fused with desiccation. Enjoyed this one. Subscribe now. The next episode is darker, and it's already waiting for you.